Yo, stop scrolling. Right now. Because what you are about to hear is not another lazy blog rewrite, not another recycled TMZ headline, not another podcast take. This is a layer everybody missed. There's a receipt from a small skate shop in Kokomo, Indiana that quietly explains how a 43-year-old rap legend ended up engaged to a 20-year-old woman nobody, outside her zip code, had ever heard of. And once you connect the pieces, you'll understand why hip-hop cannot shut up about Lil Wayne for weeks, why Reginae Carter's name keeps trending next to a stranger's face, and why the story is not the story you thought it was. Real talk, fam. Everybody is arguing about the age gap. Everybody is arguing about the ring. Everybody is arguing about whether a 20-year-old from a Rust Belt town has any business standing next to a man who signed Drake and Nicki Minaj to the same label. Nobody is asking the harder question. Nobody is asking how Lil Wayne, a man living between Miami, Los Angeles, and New Orleans, ended up in a town most people cannot find on a map. Nobody is asking why this whole thing surfaced through a sports commentator instead of publicist. Nobody is asking why Lil Wayne, a man who survived federal court battles with Birdman, has not said one word about the engagement. That silence is deliberate. That silence is the loudest part of the whole story. And I'm going to walk you through every layer of it, one detail at a time, until the picture snaps into focus. Let me set the table properly. The name in every headline is Maddie Cannon, 20 years old, from Kokomo, Indiana, a plus-size model and social media personality who was, until a few weeks ago, an ordinary young woman posting outfit photos and lifestyle content to a modest following. The name on the other side of the ring is Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., born September 27, 1982, in the Holly Grove section of New Orleans, Louisiana. A rap legend who signed to Cash Money Records at 11 years old. Released the Carter 3 in 2008. Moved 1 million units in a single week. Launched Drake, launched Nicki Minaj, and stamped Lil Wayne's fingerprints on modern hip-hop so deep that removing them would collapse the whole culture. This is not a fair fight in terms of fame. This is a man with 30-plus years in the spotlight, quietly engaging a woman who was still in elementary school when Lollipop was released. And somehow, this romance stayed completely off the radar until TMZ dropped a single quiet paragraph, and every blog on Earth caught fire in the same afternoon. Here is where it gets spicy, and here is where I need you to lock in. Before the TMZ report, before the yellow diamond ring surfaced, before Skip Bayless of all people accidentally confirmed the relationship with Casual Photograph, there's a much older thread that nobody is pulling on. Lil Wayne loves skateboarding, not photo op skateboarding. Not sneaker campaign skateboarding. Genuine, obsessive, therapy-level skateboarding. Lil Wayne has spoken about it in interviews for over a decade. Lil Wayne has been photographed skating in parking lots at 3 in the morning. Lil Wayne treats a skate deck the way most rappers treat a chain. And Kokomo, Indiana, is home to a skate scene that has quietly drawn national skaters for years. Local reporting has repeatedly placed Lil Wayne in the area on multiple visits. That is a receipt nobody is holding up. That is how a New Orleans-born legend and a Midwest girl end up in the same room. Not through industry gatekeepers. Not through a manager. Through a subculture Lil Wayne actually loves. That is the detail every commentator glossed over, and that detail is the entire foundation of the story. Now let me put Lil Wayne's romantic history on the table, because the pattern matters more than any single headline. Lil Wayne married Antonia Toya Johnson in 2004. That marriage produced Reginae Carter, born November 29, 1998, and it remains the only time Lil Wayne has ever legally walked down an aisle. The divorce landed in 2006, and after that Lil Wayne became a man who moved through relationships the way an artist moves through albums. A son named Dwayne Carter III with radio personality Sarah Vivian in 2008. A son named Cameron with actress Lauren London in 2009. A son named Neil with singer Nivea the same year. For children, for mothers, for seasons of Lil Wayne's life stamped permanently into the culture. Then came Trina. Then Christina Milian in 2014. Then Karen Steffens. Then came the moment nobody in the current conversation seems to remember, and this is the pattern piece that matters. In 2019, Lil Wayne got engaged to Letitia Thomas, an Australian plus-size model, and put diamond on her hand large enough to blind a paparazzi lens. That engagement dissolved quietly in 2020. No press release, no public breakup, just an unfollow and a slow removal of shared photos. After Letitia came Denise Biddett, on again, off again for years, ending permanently on Mother's Day 2025 according to XXL. Then and only then does Maddie Cannon enter frame. the plus-size model, the visible ring, the engagement without an announcement. If that pattern sounds familiar, it is because Lil Wayne has run this exact play before. Same silhouette, same silence, same yellow-lit spotlight. That is not coincidence. That is Lil Wayne's default operating system in love. Now, let me hit you with a Maddie Cannon breakdown, because the internet has been running with half a biography. Maddie Cannon, who posts under the handle at Exomedy, is a 20-year-old plus-size model and lifestyle creator from Kokomo, Indiana. Kokomo is not a hip-hop capital. Kokomo is a Rust Belt manufacturing town in northern Indiana, a place built on auto parts factories and Friday night lights. Maddie Cannon was not chasing rap stardom. Maddie Cannon was not sliding into industry DMs. Maddie Cannon was building a modest audience around fashion, confidence, and everyday Midwest life. Before Lil Wayne, Maddie Cannon was a normal young woman with a moderate following and a normal college-age life. After Lil Wayne, Maddie Cannon is a name typed into search bars from Lagos to London to Los Angeles every single hour. The speed of that transformation is almost impossible to prepare for. Every old photo has been screenshot. Every archived caption has been dissected. Every yearbook rumor has been dug up. A young woman posting selfies to a few thousand followers last year is now the most searched name in a genre she was not even part of. That is the price of standing next to a legend, and Maddie Cannon paid it in one weekend. Real talk. This is where the story turns from gossip into something the culture cannot look away from. In early 2026, TMZ dropped a short, understated report stating that Lil Wayne had privately proposed to a woman in her 20s from Indiana. No photo, no name, just a paragraph. That paragraph detonated the entire hip-hop internet in a single afternoon. Within hours, Indiana-focused pages started circulating a name, Maddie Cannon. Then a photo surfaced showing a distinctive yellow diamond ring, estimated by several sources at approximately $100,000, on the hand of a young woman matching the description. Then, on July 1st, 2026, a photograph emerged of Lil Wayne and Maddie Cannon spending casual time with sports commentator Skip Bayless and his wife Ernestine. Skip Bayless. Of all the visual confirmations the universe could have produced, it chose the ESPN loudmouth. That image detonated a second time. Fan accounts pulled it apart frame by frame. Reddit threads cataloged every posture. Podcast hosts held it up on camera. And then Maddie Cannon began confirming the relationship through Maddie Cannon's own platforms, dropping affectionate photos that gave every gossip page a fresh headline for the next 30 days. Here's where the culture cracked in half. And here's where I need you to sit with the weight of the debate. Lil Wayne is 43 years old. Maddie Cannon is 20. That is a 23-year gap. 23 years. 2 decades and change between two people reportedly building a marriage together. Supporters argue the obvious. 2 consenting adults. 2 grown people with the right to choose. Age gaps are not automatically predatory. Fans who felt the internet cross a line pushed back hard, and their position landed with a real share of the audience. Critics argue the other side just as hard. Power dynamics. Life stage compatibility. What it looks like when a legend with global influence pursues a woman barely out of her teenage years. Financial imbalance. Industry access. The whole architecture consent when one person owns a record label and the other person just left her parents' house. The debate poured across every platform simultaneously. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, podcasts, hip-hop blogs, group chats you were not invited to, and it did not die down. It grew, but the age gap alone did not make the story detonate the way it detonated. What made this story detonate is a single number that stopped conversations cold when fans started doing the math. Reginae Carter, Lil Wayne's oldest child, is 27 years old. Maddie Cannon is 20. Maddie Cannon is 7 years younger than Lil Wayne's own daughter. Let that sink in for a full breath. The woman Lil Wayne is reportedly engaged to Mary was born after Lil Wayne's firstborn was already learning to walk. Reginae Carter has built a whole career of her own as a singer, actress, businesswoman, and influencer, entirely without leaning on her father's shadow. Reginae Carter has not publicly addressed the engagement, and Reginae Carter does not owe the internet a single word about it. But Reginae Carter's existence, quietly, without a single post on the subject, became the emotional lightning rod for the whole conversation. Because for millions of viewers, that comparison did something the age gap on its own could not do. It made the story personal. It touched something in fathers, in daughters, in families, in anybody who has ever watched a parent make a choice that reshaped the family portrait forever. Now, check this, because this is a layer of the story most commentators completely missed. Lil Wayne has not said one word. Not one. Not a tweet. Not a statement. Not a red carpet nod. Not a coded lyric. Not an interview quote. Lil Wayne has watched the entire hip-hop internet chew on Lil Wayne's private life for weeks and has responded with pure, deliberate silence. And that silence is not weakness. That silence is doctrine. Lil Wayne has always operated this way. When Birdman and Cash Money tried to bury Lil Wayne in federal court, Lil Wayne did not tweet through it. Lil Wayne released classic mixtapes back to back. When rumors ran wild, Lil Wayne kept skating in the same parking lots. When the Leticia Thomas engagement dissolved in 2020, Lil Wayne did not explain it. Lil Wayne unfollowed and kept moving. That silence, in the middle of the loudest cultural storm in a decade, is Lil Wayne telling the world exactly what Lil Wayne always tells the world. Lil Wayne owes you nothing. Lil Wayne is not running your podcast press cycle. Lil Wayne is going to live Lil Wayne's life on Lil Wayne's clock. And if the world catches up, fine. And if the world does not, that is a world problem. Now, let me lay out the tour piece, because this is a detail the blog's undersold. Reports from LiveBeat and other outlets have surfaced, showing Maddie Cannon backstage on Lil Wayne's current concert tour, not in a random arena seat, not as a +1 for a single show. Backstage, standing directly behind Lil Wayne, as Lil Wayne walked toward the stage. That footage matters, because that footage is the difference between a rumor and a commitment. Casual dating does not put you inside the pre-show ritual of a 25-year veteran. That level of access is reserved for the person Lil Wayne considers family. Once fans saw that clip, the fairy tale flirtation argument collapsed. This is real. This is not a stunt. This is Lil Wayne building a life quietly, on tour, in front of arenas full of people who had no idea the woman behind the stage would become the most searched name in the culture. And here's a layer nobody is discussing loudly enough. What is happening to Maddie Cannon right now is one of the most brutal overnight fame conversions modern celebrity has ever produced. 6 months ago, Maddie Cannon was a college-age woman in a Midwest town, posting mirror photos and captions about weekend plans. Today, Maddie Cannon cannot walk into a coffee shop without a phone lifting somewhere in a room. Maddie Cannon's entire archive has been dissected by strangers. Maddie Cannon's hometown has been geolocated by fan pages. Maddie Cannon's family members are being contacted by tabloids. Maddie Cannon's high school classmates are giving interviews. Every private post Maddie Cannon made before Lil Wayne became relevant is now public property. And Maddie Cannon has responded not with a press tour, not with a magazine sit-down, not with a podcast confessional, but with the same quiet posture Lil Wayne uses. Maddie Cannon posts. Maddie Cannon does not explain a thing. Maddie Cannon lets the ring do the talking and lets the internet chew itself into exhaustion. Now, let me hit you with something the whole conversation has been dancing around and refusing to say out loud. This engagement is a mirror. It is not just about Lil Wayne and Maddie Cannon. It is a mirror the culture is holding up to itself. And the reflection is uncomfortable for a lot of people. Because hip-hop has spent 30 years romanticizing exactly this kind of storyline. The legend and the young muse. The mansion and the modest hometown. The private jet and the small-town Instagram. Hip-hop wrote hundreds of songs about it. Hip-hop celebrated it in music videos. Hip-hop built entire careers on the fantasy of pulling the girl next door out of her ordinary life and dropping her into the spotlight. And now, when a legendary architect of that fantasy actually lives it out in real time, the same culture that manufactured the fantasy is having a moral crisis about seeing it. That contradiction is why the story has legs. That contradiction is why the debate is not going anywhere. Because the debate is not really about Lil Wayne. The debate is about the culture wrestling with its own reflection. And here is where the connect the dots layer really lands. Look at Lil Wayne's pattern one more time. Leticia Thomas, plus-size model, visible engagement ring, silent breakup. Maddie Cannon, plus-size model, visible engagement ring, silent everything. That is not accident. That is preference. That is Lil Wayne telling the industry, without saying a word, exactly what Lil Wayne considers beautiful, exactly what Lil Wayne considers worth marrying, and exactly what Lil Wayne has done pretending to hide. And in a culture that has spent decades pushing one narrow silhouette as the industry standard, Lil Wayne quietly picking the opposite silhouette twice in a row is a statement louder than any freestyle. Lil Wayne is not making a political point. Lil Wayne is just living. But the living itself becomes a political point, whether Lil Wayne intended it or not. Now, the professional context matters here too, because Lil Wayne is not a fading star doing damage control to a young girlfriend. Lil Wayne is right in the middle of a full career resurgence. The Carter Six is on the horizon. Lil Wayne performed at the 2025 NFL Draft in Green Bay in front of a national audience. Lil Wayne is still actively running Young Money Entertainment. Lil Wayne is still touring. Lil Wayne is still producing music that trends. This engagement is not the last chapter of a career winding down. This engagement is a footnote to a legend still deeply active in the culture Lil Wayne helped build. And that context matters because it changes the shape of the conversation. This is not a nostalgia story. This is a right-now story about a legend still writing the ending of Lil Wayne's own legacy. And here is the twist most people miss entirely. The Skip Bayless photograph, the one image that confirmed everything, was not leaked. Nobody stole it. Nobody hacked it. Skip Bayless just posted it. Casually, because Skip Bayless and Lil Wayne have been friends for years, and Skip Bayless probably thought nothing of a double couple hangout with two people who look happy. That is how the biggest hip-hop story of the year broke. Not through a strategic rollout, not through a magazine cover, through a sports commentator's casual social media post. And that detail is beautiful because it tells you everything about how Lil Wayne wanted this to unfold. Quietly, sideways, through a friend, not as a launch, not as an announcement, just as a photograph that happened to exist. Lil Wayne let the world find out the way a neighbor finds out the couple next door bought a new car. By glance, by accident, on somebody else's timeline. Now, let me close the loop on where this goes from here, because that is the question every fan is really asking. No wedding date has been set. No public statement has been issued. No engagement party photos have surfaced. Lil Wayne has not confirmed the engagement in any interview. Maddie Cannon has not sat down with any publication. The story is in a strange, suspended state. Half confirmed, half denied, half public, half private. And in that suspension, the internet is doing what the internet always does. Filling the silence with speculation, predicting the wedding venue, predicting whether Reginae Carter will show up, predicting whether it will happen at all. And the truth is nobody knows. Not the blogs, not the podcasters, not the fan accounts, not even, probably, Lil Wayne on a random Tuesday. Because the whole point of this romance is that it does not run on the internet's clock. It runs on Lil Wayne's clock. And Lil Wayne's clock has always run on a frequency the rest of the culture cannot quite tune into. So here is where I leave you, fam. The story of Lil Wayne and Maddie Cannon is not a scandal. It is not a redemption arc. It is not a cautionary tale. It is a mirror. Two adults from opposite ends of America meeting through a subculture Lil Wayne actually loves, building something private, and refusing performing for the same public that has spent decades demanding performance from Lil Wayne. Whether the wedding happens next spring or never happens at all, whether Lil Wayne eventually speaks or never says one syllable about it, whether Reginae Carter posts a blessing or maintains her own dignified silence. The fact remains that once again, Dwayne Michael Carter Jr. has planted Lil Wayne right in the middle of the cultural conversation without lifting a finger to put Lil Wayne there. No diss track, no album rollout, no beef, no stunt. Just Lil Wayne living Lil Wayne's life, the exact way Lil Wayne has always lived it. Loudly on stage, quietly elsewhere, and leaving us to argue about the meaning, while Lil Wayne rolls out on a skateboard and disappears down the block. Now I want to hear from you. Where do you land? Is this a love story getting punished for its optics? Is this a red flag with a yellow diamond wrapped around it? Is this the culture finally seeing its own reflection and flinching? Is this just two people doing what two people are allowed to do? Drop it in the comments. All of it. The nuance, the disagreements, the takes you cannot post on your own timeline without your cousin texting you about it later. I read every single one of them. And if you made it this far into the breakdown, tap subscribe, ring the bell, and pull up the next video on your screen right now. Because the second half of this story is coming soon. The part about what Reginae Carter's team has quietly been saying behind the scenes. Peace, fam, talk to you real soon.